by week, y'all, the 2025 NFL season is quickly approaching. And if you've been keeping up with all of our content here at the Lockdown Defense Sports Network, like I know you have, you know we've already hit a lot of very critical milestones to get to week one of the NFL season, or upcoming week one. You know, we looked back at 2024. We geared you up for the draft. We reviewed what all of our teams did in the draft. We looked at some remaining free agents and potential needs or questions that need to be answered through the OTAs training camp process. And now we got, that last little piece that's needed to really start pondering about 2025 and really start looking ahead for our teams. That's right. I'm talking about the NFL schedule release that happened last week, everybody. And, me being the Chiefs insider here at the Lockdown Defense Sports Network, that's what we're going to be looking at today. That's right. The schedule is here. Get pumped, Chiefs fans. We got the redemption tour about to be fully loaded, rolling through here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, redemption tour for Kansas City. We know how 2024 ended. We know how that Super Bowl loss has undoubtedly, left a thorn in the side of Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and all the vets that have been around for this, pretty much sustained success that Kansas City's had since Patrick Mahomes took over. But yeah, I mean, just first and foremost, looking at the schedule, it is a bit of a daunting one. And look, I mean, that's just what happens when you're a team like Kansas City, when you're a team that consistently is winning your division, going for 10 straight in 2025. That's right, 10 straight. Last time that the Chiefs have not won the AFC West was 2015. And I know what you're thinking. That is a damn long time ago. But yeah, when you are as consistently successful as Kansas City has been blessed to be in this time frame, you get tough schedules. I think they were tied for, I think they had the 7th ranked strength of schedule. Just looking at it across the board, I mean, you see there's some daunting games on there. Week one, get to play AFC West opponent, those Chargers down in Brazil, actually. So that's an exciting one. Week 2, is circled on everyone's calendar in that Chiefs locker room. That is the Super Bowl rematch against Philadelphia in Arrowhead. So that's good at least. Week 3, they go to the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. Week 4, got the Ravens at home. Week 5 at Jacksonville, Monday Night Football. Week 6, got Detroit at home at Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football. Week 7, got the Raiders at home. Week 8, them Commanders, them Manders at home, Monday Night Football game. And we got Week 9, they go to Buffalo. Week 10, they got their bye, bless up. Coming out of their bye, they got the Denver Broncos, AFC West opponent, at Denver. Follow that up, Week 12, they got Indy at home. They play Dallas Week 13 at Dallas for Thanksgiving. Can't believe they did that to old Jerry and them, but hey, going to be a good holiday for your boy. Follow that up just with the slaughtering of the state of Texas, if you will. Week 14, they got the Texans at home, Sunday Night Football. Week 15, again, back to AFC West matchups. They got the Chargers at home in Arrowhead. Pretty savage, I will note. Shout out to my boy Coach in the Real RG. Pretty savage what they did to your Chargers there, making that Brazil game home for them. But hey, what can you do? And we got Week 16 at Tennessee. Week 17, they got Denver at home on Christmas. Again, Chiefs just getting them primetime games. And to round things out, we got Week 18 at the Raiders, time to be determined. But let me just start after we kind of looked at the schedule here by saying I get it, guys. I get why everyone is annoyed of the Chiefs and just kind of hates seeing them. It's because they're constantly on the television that you're forced to watch. I mean, they have 7 primetime games in 2025, which is actually tied for the most the team has ever had. So, I do get that. But, just looking at the schedule as a whole, I mean, they, road games aren't too bad, honestly, besides having to go to Buffalo, but the rest of their, and Denver, but, that's AFC West opponent. That's going to be hard regardless. But, looking at their road games, not really too many to be all that stressed out about. So they did luck out there. And then, looking at their home games, they definitely have their work cut out for them at home. Drawing a lot of the big time matchups. You got Philadelphia at home, Baltimore at home, Detroit maybe. We'll see how they kind of bounce back after the staff got a little ripped up, but Washington, the rising Commanders at home, and so I mean, definitely they got their work cut out for them at home. Looking at the schedule, it is a little bit of a easier schedule for them, if you will, whereas they're not playing these crazy amount of games, on every day of the week. Like I think the Chiefs had a stretch of 3 games last year that was like in the span of, 10 days, which is just ridiculous. So we got that out of here. Hopefully a little more time to rest and recharge between games in, what I'm expecting to be a very difficult, a very, hard-earned season for the Chiefs if they want to get back to where I know they think they know they can be and where we want them to be. That's back to hoisting the Lombardi and making the people think making people question that, hey, are the Chiefs going away finally? Nah, they're not. But yeah, I mean, just looking at the stretch, I mean, tough draw to get AFC West opponent week 1, but I feel like the Chargers and Chiefs always kind of get some primetime game to kick it off. So good to see that. Definitely the tough draw is getting Philly in the Super Bowl rematch in week 2, and then Baltimore in week 4. That's definitely their first 4 games. Like, we're going to find out a lot about them. We're going to find out a lot about the retooled offensive line. I mean, that was definitely the focal point of the offseason. Bringing in Jalen Moore, drafting Simmons, trading away Tooney. Like, we'll see what that does to counterbalance what Philly did to them in the Super Bowl. And we're going to see it early in week 2. And then, we'll probably kind of see the ceiling of what this Chiefs team could be against Baltimore in week 4. I'm not going to act like they're going to go out and blow anyone out, because that's just not, I mean, that's not what this is when you play these elite teams like that. But I mean, that's going to be the measure of success, I think, for how this 2025 season will go for the Chiefs, what they do in week 2 and week 4. And then, looking at another difficult stretch, you got to look at kind of the latter half of the schedule here, where they're, playing every AFC West opponent in a very short week span of time. Rounding the season out in week 15, they got the Chargers at home. Then week 17, they got the Broncos at home, and then finish things out week 18 with the Raiders. To be determined if that has any significance or not. Sometimes the week 18 games in years past has not really meant much for Kansas City. And if you heard that, I'm knocking on wood for that to be the case again. But so that's kind of the schedule as a whole, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at all of that, the matchups, kind of just what I walked through there. What is my ultimate prediction? Way too early prediction, I might preface that, for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2025. Look, I got them going 12-5. I mean, I'm like to think I'm realistic. And you'll be like, 12-5, this dude, what, you smoking crack? Chiefs are gonna be bad. Well, I know someone's out there saying that. And, just to note, ultimately, like, Chiefs have not had less, in 2023, they won 11 games. Outside of that, every time Mahomes has been the starting quarterback, they've at least won 12. So, history is on my side in this era that, that's kind of the measurement of success, if you will. And just looking at the schedule, I think they got some good, easy wins. They definitely got some tough games. Just kind of going through it. I'll just go through line by line here of my hot take early predictions to get to 12-5. Like I said, Chargers week 1 in Brazil. I got them winning that game. Sorry, coach. Sorry, Robert. But come back to me when I'm done. Got them winning that. Week 2, I got Kansas City standing on business in Arrowhead, clapping back at Jalen Hurts, clapping back at that Philly defense, and clapping back at that smug face Nick Sirianni, getting the dub against the Eagles, starting the year off right, 2-0. Then we go to New York after that hard, fat battle and just wipe the floor with whoever the hell is at quarterback for the Giants. So 3-0. Looking at week 4, I got them losing to the Ravens. We know how it was the toe game last year. Ravens played a hell of a game, and I think it's early enough that they'll be full force, and I could see Kansas City losing that game. Week 5, Jacksonville, come on, they're winning that. Week 6 against Detroit, Look, I think Detroit's going to take a little bit of a step back. I love Dan Campbell, but I think they do with the coaching staff getting pieced out like it did, and Ben Johnson moving on. I think that carries a little more weight than people are talking about. I got them beating the Lions. Of course, I got them beating the Raiders in Week 7. Come on, I do have them losing to the Commanders in Week 8. Shout out Mike Dubb, and then doubling down. Unfortunately, losing to the Bills in Week 9 in Buffalo. Like we all know, Chiefs fans, not the end of the world if they lose to Buffalo. Like Buffalo wins their Super Bowl every year, sometime in the regular season when they beat Kansas City. Got to bye Week 10. I got them coming out of their bye because that's just what Andy Reid does. Comes out of the bye on business, gets a dub at Denver. Got them beating the Broncos. I got them beating the Colts in Week 12. I got them smacking them boys on Thanksgiving, Week 13. I got them beating the Texans, Week 14. And Coach Robert, like I said, circling back, I do have them losing to the Chargers in Week 15. I got them beating the Titans in Week 16. I got them losing to the Broncos in Week 17, and of course, beating the Raiders with the JV squad in Week 18. But just looking at it, like I said, losing to the Commanders, Ravens, Bills, and splitting with the Chargers and the Broncos, that gets us to 12-5. I think that's a pretty realistic outlook, or way too early outlook of what the season could ultimately be for Kansas City. But please be sure to let me know how you feel, Chiefs Kingdom, on this way too early prediction of the schedule. If you agree with some of my predicted outcomes of the games or matchups, or if you think I'm just totally out of left field, please let me know below. Please also be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all of our NFL content and my Chiefs content that comes out on a daily and weekly basis. And as well, please be sure to like the video just so other people can see it. If you want to get at me or any of the squad on social media, there's all the socials. You get me on X or Instagram at The Real Givens. That's right. There's only one of me. And if you want to find more content from Lockdown Defense Sports Network, we're on all the socials as well. You got X, Instagram, what is that? TikTok. That's right. All of them, basically. Just feel free to find us on all platforms. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm The Real AG. That's our overview of the Chiefs for 2025. And we'll see you when we see you.